and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these cornstarch and baking soda ornament tags. This is going to be a very simple project to do. I am going to be making the dough and it's got some very simple ingredients, so let's get to crafting. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do is make our dough. Our dough consists of 3 ingredients: cornstarch, baking soda, and water. It is very easy to do. So the first thing we're going to need to do is measure ½ a cup of some cornstarch, and I've got that right here. Pour that right into a little pot. Alright, so then we'll need a cup of baking soda. Pour that right into that. And I like to whisk those 2 dry ingredients together first. And last, we need a ½ a cup of water. Okay, so now we're going to take this onto our stove at low to medium heat, and we're going to start cooking this. Okay, so I'm just going to keep using my whisk to turn this, and it will take about 3 minutes. It'll start to thicken up. And at some point when it starts to thicken up, you can switch over to a spatula to help you move it around a little bit better. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes and it is starting to thicken up on me. I can feel it. I can feel my whisk kind of working a little bit against it. Ready to keep going until it starts to really thicken up and forming a dough. Alright, so I've already turned off the heat, and there you can see the consistency. It is now a dough. So we want to go ahead and pull this off of the heat and take it over and form a little dough, a little ball, and we'll let it cool off. Okay, so I pulled it off the stove and I have it here on the side on a little towel so that my pot can start to cool off, and I have used my spatula to bring it all together to form a ball of dough right in there. So I'm going to leave this towel right here, and I'm going to take the dough out of my little pot. It is very hot, so do not touch it with your hands. You might let it cool off a little bit before you try even doing this. Okay, so we're just going to leave it on the towel, and I'm going to let it cool off just a little bit, just so that I can touch it. Alright, as soon as your dough has cooled off and you can touch it, you want to take it and just knead it a little bit. Just roll it into itself. Okay, so then we just want to form it into a little ball of dough here. Now you'll notice that, you may not, but you might notice some little specks in there. That is just from where maybe some of the cornstarch may have burned to the bottom of the pan. You can just pinch those out or just leave them in there. It adds a little bit of character to your dough, but as you can see, it is a very pretty white dough. Okay, so I'm going to put it into this nice, cool little pot, and then I'm going to take a wet towel and I'm going to cover it up so it doesn't dry up on me, and just cover it and let it rest so that it cools off completely for about 15-20 minutes. Okay, you may leave it to rest as much as 30 minutes, but make sure that you have a very nice damp cloth over it. Alright, to make my ornament tag shapes, I'm going to be using cookie cutters. I'm going to make it very simple so that you don't have to go out and buy any special shapes or any special stamps. Now I have these around, these are biscuit cutters, but I also use them to cut out cookies. And I'm going to use the one that's about 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter. That way I can get about 8 or 10 tags out of the dough that I have made. But you can use anything like a star shape, a little flower shape. If you want to use a little gingerbread, depending on what you're using these little tags for, use the cookie cutters that you want to use. You can also use stamps to do some embossing on your ornaments or your tag. But like I said, I'm going to keep it really simple so we don't have to go out and buy anything extra to make these. Now I am going to be using a fork to do a little bit of shapes on it. I am going to be using a straw to poke a hole through my ornament or tag, whatever you want to call it, so that we can put a string through it to either hang it or put it on a gift. You can use like a chopstick or something like that to make a little hole as well. I'm also going to be using a toothpick to do some little designs on it, so you might want to grab some of that. Got my little spatula just to pick it up, and then I've also put some extra cornstarch here on the side. So when I roll out my dough, I can have that ready and it won't stick to my surface. All right, everyone, we will be back to start cutting out our shapes. Okay, so I've allowed enough time for this to cool off, so I can now take it out of the little pot here. Just put it onto my cloth here, and I'm just going to make sure that it is all nice and moist. It feels really good. None of it feels dry. What you want to do is you want to check it every once in a while just to make sure that this is still moist. Okay, so I'm just going to pick at little bits here that got stuck here from the little towel, little fibers. But we're not going to worry too much about those things because this is not an edible product. This is going to be an ornament or a gift tag. I'm choosing to just use mine as gift tags. Okay, so we're just going to knead it a little bit. It's nice and soft. And I'm kneading it on a nice cool marble, but you can use it on a, you can do it on a glass or wood, whatever you have that you can roll out on. Just make sure you're in a nice cool room. And of course it all depends on the humidity around you. Okay, so I'm just using a little bit of cornstarch. It's not sticking to my hands, but just to make sure and that it doesn't stick onto the surface. Okay, it is super soft. It is like a clay, like a really soft clay, like a Play-Doh, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more cornstarch. Okay, I feel like I've kneaded it enough. It doesn't really need that much. I'm going to take some cornstarch, that's why I put some here on the side, and just put it on my rolling pin. And I want to roll this out till about a 1/4 inch thick. Now you don't want it any thinner than that because it might not be a substantial thickness to hold up your ornament or your little gift tag, and you don't want it any thicker than that because it might not bake properly. So just get it out to about a 1/4 inch thick. If you need to get a little ruler, measuring tape, whatever you need to measure that out. And like I said, you're going to get about 8 or 10 round ornament or shapes, I should say. And so if you want more, you can double up, triple up the recipe, get the kids to help out in this process. Let them make their own little ornaments. Okay, I think this is good enough. And I'm gonna dip this into the cornstarch, my cookie cutter, whatever my shape is. There we go. And just start cutting however many you can or want. I'm going to put them kind of close to each other so I can get as many as I can. Okay, so I'm going to do these for now. And so when you're cutting them, you kind of want to twist this around a little bit to get a nice clean cut. And then you can just lift this off. And I grab my little spatula here so that I can go underneath and grab them like so. Now you could also use, a pastry dough scraper to bring them up, or a nice sharp spatula. If they get misshapen, just get your cutter and shape them up again. Twist it around a little bit, that kind of helps. Okay, so I'm going to get these. This one didn't cut very well, so I'm going to do a little bit more, twist it around. There we go. Now doing this is going to depend on how much of a perfectionist you are, okay? Okay, so I'm going to cut out a few more and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut out a few more of these circle shapes, and then I've gone ahead and I've done a few of them with my star. So I'm going to do, I think I can do 1 or 2 more. And as you can see, I have quite a bit here. I have more than 8 or 10, as I said, but I think it's because I'm using a smaller mold than is usually suggested, which is about a 3-inch one. And then I'm just going to use my straw, and I've been using this to poke holes through the other stars. So the little dough that you poke through just goes into the straw, so it just keeps building up. So that's okay, that's what we want. And we want to push this all the way through. As you can see, the little dough is all in there. And we want to twist it a little bit as well, so that makes a nice clean little hole, just like that. And we'll go ahead and do that to all, so that we have a place to hang a ribbon or string to either hang this as an ornament or use it as a gift tag. Okay, I'm going to just do one last one here. I have a little bit of dough left. I could form another little shape, but I'm going to stop right here. And I have gotten 9 of these, and I've gotten 6 stars. So I think I did pretty good. So it just depends on the size of your cookie cutter. Now, to make these a little bit fancy, we can leave them nice and simple like that. Or we could take our fork and just go along the edge and just gently press. You could keep it on the table or your counter, whatever you're rolling out on. And just press in that way. And give it a cute little scalloped edge like that. Let's do one more. I think I like holding it up in the air because I get like a cleaner little scallop, because it goes all the way down to the edge on the bottom, and when it's on the counter it kind of like just presses on the top part. The only problem is that doing it up like this is that you kind of misshape your circle. So just lay it back onto some cornstarch and just shape it up again. But otherwise, I think it looks pretty good. There you go, with the little edges there. I think that looks really pretty. You could also take a toothpick and maybe just go around the edge and do a little indentation. Like so, and I'll bring this up so you can see what I did. Like that, and then maybe perhaps do less of the scalloping. So I'm just going to go from center to center and then center to center. And then in the middle of that, do another little press in and get that type of a shape. So pretty much you can do anything. You don't need to buy any special molds. You don't need to buy any special stamps. You can just do whatever you want. I am going to use the fork and press in like a little bit of a swirl here, and then do the same on the other side. And then I'm going to press in with a more rounded edge and follow my little pattern so that I can make it a little bit of a deeper kind of a emboss. You could do some initials on here. That's pretty. And I think I'll do like some little holly dots. Whatever you want to do. Let me show you. See what I did? You can pretty much do whatever you want. Now I want to do some with an L for Leo. So I'm going to use the sharp end of my toothpick to first draw out my letter, and I'm going to do it in a cursive. You can do it however you want again. I can't stress that enough. What I'm doing here is just to inspire you, to give you an idea of what you can do, because I know that you have ideas of your own, and maybe you just can't get them to, work in your mind somehow, but you just need somebody to tell you, here, this is what you can start it off with. This is what you can use, and then your imagination will just go from there. And if somebody else has an idea of what they could also use to do these little designs, then let us know. And see, it's nice and easy with a toothpick, because then you can just lift off any little dough that's sort of in the way. And I just press down on the little edges. There we go. I think that looks really good. Nice and clean. The more I do it, the worse it's going to get, so I'm just going to do it one pass. Here I did a cursive L for my grandson, Leo. And there we go. I'm just going to continue doing the rest and doing either some initials or just do some little designs on them. And I've got my oven pre-baking at 175 degrees of Fahrenheit. So you want to make sure you get that. Get yourself a cookie sheet. Put some parchment paper on it. I'm going to go ahead and put the ones that already have the design that I want on them. All right. And we'll be back when I've got them all decorated the way that I want, or at least started up, because we're going to finish decorating them after we have baked them. So first, let me go ahead and finish doing my little designs, and then I'll give you the times for baking. All right, everyone, I have finished all the shapes that I'm going to do, and I've done some little designs on them. I decided to do some initials on some, and the others, I think I left one of them plain. But anyway, I'm going to put this into the oven at 175 degrees Fahrenheit. My oven is already ready. They're going to go in there for 30 minutes, and they're going to bake, and then I'm going to turn them around and bake them for an additional 30 minutes. Once that is done, I can pull them out and let them cool off completely before I do any more decorating, or I can leave them as is and just add a string or ribbon to finalize the decoration. All right, everyone, I shall be back. All right, everybody, I've already brought out my ornament tags out of the oven, and they have completely cooled off, and I can now decorate them. So let me just show you a little example of one of them up close so you can see that. That's what I did to it. I just used a toothpick to make that little design in there, and then I did some with initials. So let me show you how I've decorated one of them. I've got this one here, a little star with an initial, and I've put some string on it, a little bow with a little jingle bell, and this can then be tied up here in a knot like so, and then I can hang it off of the Christmas tree. So that will be an ornament, but I'm going to be using mine as gift tags, and because it already has the initial for the person that I want to give it to, it'll be a very personalized little ornament. So I can take my gift and just wrap it up with some string, and then I'm going to use the same string that's on my ornament, and I can just tie it around, and if I want to knot it, I can do so, but I'm just going to make a little bow. And look how cute that gift is, all nice and personalized. You could also take some markers, and I have a plain one here that I didn't do anything to that, as well as this one right here, and I'm just going to write to and from. So just take a Sharpie, get yourself a nice fine Sharpie, and then just write to and from, and then you can just fill in the names so that you can put it on the gift as well. And if you want it, you can also do some painting on them. So this has been my little tutorial on how to make these little ornament tags for Christmas. These are made from cornstarch and baking soda, and as you saw, it was very, very easy to do the dough, and then of course just a little time that it took for baking it, but it was a lot of fun. And I really do suggest that once you've already made the dough and it's cooled off, you can go ahead and have the kids do their own cutting. Let them cut out their own little designs. Let them use a toothpick. As you can see, I didn't have to go buy any special molds. I didn't have to buy any special stamps. Use some toothpicks, use a fork, whatever you want to do. Maybe get their little thumbprints in there and just let them paint them once they've already been baked and cooled off. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial, like I said, so I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. And let me know what you think. Leave a nice comment down below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and hit that notification bell, because I have videos every Tuesday and every Friday, and once in a while I have a weekend vlog, and I have a fun video ready for you this Friday, and I hope that you will really enjoy that one as well. My husband makes a cameo in there, so look out for that one as well. Make sure you share on your social medias, everyone, and as always, enjoy.